Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I apologize for being a little bit of MIA for the past 2 weeks. Usually I always load up a video on a Sunday, but the past 2 weeks have just been a little bit too busy for me to make that happen. For those of you who already follow me here on YouTube, if you don't, you definitely should. I'm about to start a new job in another city here in Germany, and I also celebrated my birthday and went on a trip to Warsaw, Poland. So I had to prepare a lot of stuff, I had to pre-work some things, I had to pack, I had to organize stuff, etc, etc, etc. So basically I just really didn't make it. I actually just came back from Warsaw yesterday night, and I'm just like in the process of unpacking from Warsaw and like repacking for my trip to my first week of my new job. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little hectic at the moment. However, I still wanted to sit down and make this video happen for you today so I can, deliver more content for you guys. Without rambling on, let's dive into today's topic. So I know I'm a little bit late on that trend and no one actually tagged me on this, but I still wanted to, join the club and tell you about 5 luxury items that I will not buy no matter the hype. So I have learned along the way that you should never say never, and I think in the past I may have made one or the other statement about things I'm gonna buy or I'm not gonna buy, or that I hate or whatever, that I still ended up purchasing and I love them. However, I am pretty confident that the following 5 items I will not purchase for various reasons. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic. If you happen to not follow me and you're new to this channel, welcome. Please make sure to subscribe and to hit that like button. Also, feel free to check out my Instagram channel where you will find more outfit ideas, more daily content about like my life and my fashion obsessions on a daily basis. So yeah, just one very quick disclaimer before we dive into today's topic. I decided to wear less makeup in my videos. I decided to go for a little bit more of a natural look. I mean, I still consider myself always going for a natural look, but I just find myself, preparing with makeup and stuff like that for my videos, but I don't really wear any like foundation, stuff like that in my like everyday life. In fact, I only use a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of powder, a little bit of CC cream, whatever I actually feel like. My makeup routine is very, very minimal, and it just makes these videos and the creation of these videos such a hassle and such like a high maintenance preparation and stuff. And I am a perfectionist and I want to make high quality videos for you guys, but I also want to be myself. I also want to be like authentic and real. So I think in the future you will see a little bit more of this face with less makeup on. It may not look as flawless or whatever on camera, but I hope you still appreciate the realness of the thought. I have my notes on my phone today. So, the first item that I will not buy no matter the hype are the new Chanel PVC shoes. So right now more and more people on Instagram, influencers and bloggers start to wear these shoes. They are from the current Spring-Summer 2019 collection by Chanel, and they are just your typical mid-heeled mules with a PVC heel, or like a plastic transparent heel, and the slide part basically is also PVC trimmed with leather, either it's beige, red or black, I think, and they also have either the Chanel on each of the shoes or just like the CC logo. So there are like a couple of variations of them, but basically the construction is always the same. In general, PVC transparency and stuff like that is kind of a trend still, but I don't like it. And for various reasons. First of all, I actually mentioned this in one of my very first videos here on YouTube. I just don't really get the idea of wearing plastic, even if it's not a single-use item. Obviously, a Chanel shoe is not like your typical plastic single-use item. And I know no one is perfect. I'm not perfect with my plastic management. I try to improve, but of course I'm not perfect by any means. However, I just don't really get the idea of wearing high-end designer plastic or PVC items. I just don't really like the look. I never really liked the look, and I also just don't really get the idea of promoting plastic or PVC as something fashionable while it's such a dramatic, huge problem in our environment right now. You know what I mean? The other reason, however, is the fact that if you wear like PVC shoes in like from any brand basically, your feet are obviously not able to breathe whatsoever, and basically the sweat that your feet create from not being able to breathe creates condensed water or whatever, and it basically makes your shoes, wait a minute, I have to Google the word in English. Yeah, it makes your shoes fog up or like steam up, which is just such an unattractive and unpleasing look to me, and it also is actually quite very uncomfortable. I think that if you wear these shoes for a couple of like hours for a longer term, I think that you will get serious bruises on your feet from the fact that your feet are like pressed against plastic. So for those three reasons, I just don't really get that hype, and I will not buy these shoes, which are, by the way, also insanely pricey. I think they cost around 990 euros or something, and that actually adds up as the last reason why I would not purchase these shoes. I think that a price tag like this is something that I could personally not justify, as much as I love Chanel as a brand, as much as I love a nice Chanel, you know, ballerina shoe, or the sling bags, or like the sneakers as well. These PVC mules, as cool as they look on, you know, influencer pictures and stuff like that, I think if you actually try to wear them in your everyday real life, they will not work out very well. The next item that I will never buy is not from a particular designer. It's more about the design. It's like oval shaped or super small glassed sunglasses. So this is basically one of those like 90s or early 2000 trends that has been going on for quite some time already, and you know, you see more and more pictures of people wearing these kinds of oval shaped or very thin, like slim, small sunglasses. And I think that they actually look quite cool on some people, but this is just a very personal thing for me. I have a very round syllabic face, and these kinds of sunglasses just look horrendously on me. Like, seriously, I look ridiculous in those sunglasses. I'm more of a fan of your typical oversized sunglasses. I like a nice 70s look, I like an 80s look, I love like huge ass oversized sunglasses. However, these small thingies I just can't deal with, and that's why I will not buy them, no matter who is wearing them. The next item, I actually have to laugh a little bit while saying this. It's the super small Jacquemus bag. So Jacquemus, the brand, is one of those brands that is really like, you know, booming and hyping up at the moment, and I actually like most of the designs when it comes to ready to wear and shoes. I think that Jacquemus has a very modern, cool, laissez-faire French, you know, vision of sexiness, femininity and elegance, and is still so laid back at the same time. I really like the design vision. However, those little baggies that came up like during the past months all over Instagram, I just don't. I'm just checking out at this point. You know, as someone who is always concerned about cost per wear, about functionality and versatility when it comes to, you know, designer items or basically any kind of like fashion item in general, this is of course something that I just don't really get and that I just do not agree with on any of these points. So yeah, these little Jacquemus bags, I mean, there are like those super small bags that were basically just like invitations for the fashion show, but there are also some like actual mini bags that are, I don't know, like a handful of a bag, like a kitten, that you can actually purchase and wear, like however this may be possible. It's just one of those super Instagrammable items that photographs very well and that is just like so cute to look at. And yes, I get that fact and it is cute, it is, but these bags still cost over 100 or 200 euros, and for that price point again, I just think that buying something which is obviously just a gimmick just doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't have money to burn like that or for things like that. So for me, this is just like one big no-go. The last two items are bags. So the first bag is nothing really new and I already talked about it, but it's still so extremely popular that I want to talk about it again. Actually also because in the meantime, since the last time I mentioned this bag, I actually had my eyes on it and I actually toyed with the thought of purchasing it, even though I told you before I would never purchase it. And I ended up, you know, going back to my initial opinion and not getting it for even more reasons. So I'm talking about the Dior saddlebag. So as I already said in one of my previous videos, I think also one of my first videos back in 2018, I mentioned that I would never purchase a Dior saddlebag because it's just so extremely overhyped already. And since that time, which is like, you know, which was like 6 months ago, the hype didn't stop. And I took a look at the bag in the Dior boutiques. I compared the sizes. I watched a couple of YouTube videos about people reviewing these bags, like the mini size and the normal size of the new saddle design. I even watched videos where people compared the vintage initial, like original design of the saddlebag with the new design. So the bag kind of still woke my interest and I even toyed with the fact of getting it. I took a look at the pre-loved market, at the vintage designs, I took a look at the new designs and I basically calculated the final price that I would have to pay for a new saddlebag with the strap, because the saddlebags on their own, they do not come with a crossbody strap. You have to buy these very embellished, rich, thick belts, kind of like bag straps that almost look like belts from Dior separately. And the price for the normal size with a additional bag strap would have been around 4,000 euros, which is insane. And again, as I mentioned many times before, I just came to the conclusion this bag does just not make any sense for me. And I actually think it doesn't make any sense at all. So I love the design, I love how different it is, I love the idea of adding those straps, and I actually find the new Dior oblique monogram design beautiful. I actually think of, you know, getting the sneakers, the walk-in Dior sneakers in the monogram, in the oblique monogram, because I just love the stitching and how rich it looks. However, buying a fairly small sized bag that is so special and not timeless for a price of 2,000 euro, you know, depending on if you take the leather or the oblique, let's say we are like, with 2,000 euros, we are like in the middle. And then having to add a belt that costs a minimum of 1,500 euros just to be able to wear it crossbody is just insane to me. For this price, you can get a classic Chanel flap in the small size, and a Chanel classic flap is much more of a better investment. It holds up its value and it's something that I know for sure I would love forever. So I'm not saying that I'm planning on buying another Chanel classic flap. However, if I just think of the amount of money that this saddlebag would cost, I immediately have to compare it to something that has a similar price point but such a better value in my opinion. So if I would be like a bag collector and really like a bag addict and a bag lover, yes, of course, maybe the Dior saddlebag would be something that I would still, you know, justify the price and that I would still want to get. But since I'm not really a bag fan anyway, this just like this whole experience, like this whole thought process that I went through for the past months just really ensured me, in my initial opinion, that this bag is not for me and I will not get it, no matter the hype. And the last item for today is the new Prada Sidoni bag. So this bag is like starting out its hype right now. I think more and more influencers are wearing these. You see this bag on your Instagram feed, like, you know, more and more every day as the days go by. And it's again one of those designs that to me feel very early 2000s, and it just does not speak to me. I don't really like the design, like the shape. I think the shape reminds me again a little bit of the initial variations of the Dior saddlebag from the 90s. I am not that familiar with, you know, old Prada designs, so maybe it's like a reboot of their own older designs. I don't know that. However, this bag just does not speak to me at all. There's nothing about the bag that I find super appealing or super interesting or super functional. So it's just a pass for me. It's just, so at this point, it's really just a taste thing. It's really just a personal thing, and it's just something that I'm not down for. I think that there are far cuter other bags that you can buy in like the small or medium size out there. For example, any kinds of, you know, wallets on a chains, which you can actually wear crossbody. I think that the Prada Sedoni you cannot wear crossbody because it's like, you know, it's meant to be worn in a very short to early 90s kind of style. And since I've been actually a teenager in the late 90s and early 2000s, maybe this is just like one of those times that I just don't miss. I don't want to go back there. I don't miss the fashion and the bags and all these kinds of things from those times. I'm quite happy with times today, what I wear today and where I am today. So that sums up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, all the things I said about the items mentioned are really just my personal opinion. Obviously, if you are someone who actually happens to love one of the items that I've mentioned and you think they are totally worth it, go for it. Good for you. I do not judge anyone. Fashion is meant to be fun, it's meant to be a passion, and I am very, very open-minded when it comes to different styles and different tastes and different opinions, to be honest. So this is really just my personal opinion, and I hope you can take it with a grain of salt or with a, you know, little smile on your face. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!